Okay, so this is blog post. Yeah, I'll start again. It's not blog post.
It's not. It's a podcast.
Yeah, okay, so it's podcast.
This is podcast number 2.
All right, so we're going to have our second podcast here. We have much better mics. We have the DG.
And has a mic. And has a mic.
What's yours say? DJI, I think it is.
I don't know. I'm not going to read it.
We have the DJI mic set here now, so we're going to sound way better than we did last time, I promise. And we're going to pick up the story from where we left off. So we're on our way to go get our new van. This is when?
So September. We rented a car.
Yeah, so let me tell you a little bit about that story, because I think it's worth noting if you don't do a ton of travel, and I think it's insanity, to be quite honest with you. So I went on Budget's website, or actually I went on just everybody's website to see where I could get a discount. And I was able to get a pretty good discount on Budget from the National Association of Realtors. So I booked it, and I got the rent-a-car one way from New York to Alabama. And it was like a couple $100. It was really cheap.
Right.
So, and it was a Toyota Corolla, something like that.
I just remember it was red.
No, it was white. It was definitely white.
Was it?
Yeah. So it was a white car. I wouldn't drive a red. You think I'm gonna drive a clown car down to?
We did. I thought we did.
No.
It was so exciting. So it was red, but it was white.
It was definitely white, and it was a Toyota. I think it was not the smallest one, which I think is a Civic. So I think it was a Camry.
Okay.
Something like that, or a Corolla, if that's a thing. I don't know if they make Corollas
anymore. Did not make an
anymore.
impression upon me, this vehicle.
Yeah. So we went to the airport to pick it up, and our daughter dropped us off.
Yes.
And so we were ready to rip. And we went up to the Budget place, and we started off really early in the morning so that we could get a good start on the day. And the guy asked me for my credit card, and I gave him my business credit card. And he said that he couldn't use it. He denied me because it said debit on the card, even though it was a credit card. And just because it said debit, and I said, well, just go ahead and run it. This guy refused to run the card. He would just not do it no matter what I begged him to do, and I didn't have a credit card with me. So if you're traveling, it might make sense, especially if you're going to be doing rent-a-cars, make sure you get a credit card or something that says credit card in case you get a, with lack of a better terms, a real
distinguished older gentleman.
Yeah, he wasn't very distinguished in my book. But so so the crazy story is Annie has the same card from the same account, and it's the same exact thing, but for some reason hers does not say debit on it. It's the same color, same everything. It's the exact same card. It's nothing different. And luckily hers did not say debit on it, and she gave it to him, and he ran it, and it worked fine. We lucked out that Annie's card did not say debit on it. So if you know anything about that, let us know. But it's the dumbest thing on the planet. And so is Budget. I'll never rent from them again, to be honest with you.
Well, there you go. We won't.
Because of a jerk at the Rochester airport. So, and I can describe him if you want to call me Budget later.
Don't.
So we get in the car finally. We're probably a half an hour behind now because of this jerk. And we start on our trip to Alabama.
Yeah.
And we get on the road.
Anything happen?
Well, so we, I got you a really nice journal.
Journal. Did you buy that then?
No, I bought it for Christmas for you, a nice journal to log everything in.
Right.
And what I've learned is Annie is not very good at journaling. So we had, no, you're not good at it. It's terrible. It's not in a log sense. No, you're bad at it. So,
opinion.
No, it's not an opinion. All right. Well, so if you could get the log out now, because I want to go over it. The log. We're in the van right now. Oh, and by the way, we're in the van because we were going to do the fireside thing again.
Yeah.
But it's just been raining all day.
That's what you hear. It's just rain, 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 rain.
Yeah, it didn't rain at all for a week. And then we tried to do this video, and it's just solid rain. So so we just gave up. We're going to do it in the video, or in the van, which is kind of cool because it's a van video in the van. So that's cool. So if you could grab the logbook so we can go over the first part.
Yeah, it's personal.
Where's the logbook?
It's personal.
Annie doesn't have the logbook. So, and I wanted to have the logbook so we could review all the names, because that was what our plan was on our trip to go get the van. We were going to name the van.
Okay. We did it.
We did do that. Yeah.
did
I was
do
going to
that.
share the other cool names that we had with everybody else. Maybe in a future video we'll share all of our names that we came up with.
Well, they didn't make the grade, so.
Yeah, but maybe someone else, it would work really nice for someone else.
True.
So, what was the couple backup names? You remember?
No.
I remember the one because we went by Angola, which is a stop on the thruway to get gas. And I was just like renaming everything with a van in it. So it was like Vangola.
Oh, okay.
Remember that?
No, I don't.
Oh, you thought we had a red car. So I'm just feel like. Do you even remember us getting the van?
I do remember us getting the van. I'm very busy. I can't remember like all these details you always
Well, I'm going to
do.
let Annie give a
Well, you
little...
probably don't want me to give a detail description of us getting down to Alabama.
Yeah, I want to hear the trip. What happened?
Oh, I just remember when we got to Alabama.
You don't
Like-
remember any of the trip?
What happened in the trip?
Nothing. I just don't know if you remember any of it.
I do.
I mean, to be honest, we just got like on the road and just kicked
it was
down
just like
there.
we
So-
were like high, like boom to get there. I don't remember
Yeah.
there was anything particular happening in that trip.
Just to be clear, we were not high. Just because Annie I think you just said we were high on our way down there. Right?
We were not high. We
Okay.
were not high.
We were not. So we trucked it down there. Where we were picking the van up was in Hoover, Alabama.
Okay.
And so you got the advice on the rent-a-car, don't do that. And then it was a pretty easy trip down there. I mean, it was pretty uneventful. It was still during like semi-COVID, so like still had to do the masks and like gloves when you were like doing your fuel and all of that stuff. But there was nothing like completely bizarre. So, and we got down there, we got into our hotel like late at night. So it was probably like 10 o'clock, I think, or something. And we stayed at what was it called?
Don't even name the hotel. Don't name the hotel.
It was a big hotel.
It's a big hotel chain. I'm not going to name the hotel chain because we had something happen in the hotel room that I was just I did not report it. I did not
Well, you can't
review it. It's just
there was a cockroach in our roach motel, and
Yeah.
it wasn't. We weren't in a roach motel, so we paid more for the hotel than we did for the car.
Exactly.
So,
And it was just late at night, and I threw my toiletry bag in the bathroom, and I walked into the other room to get my pajamas, then walked back in the bathroom, and like sitting on the bathroom counter was a cockroach. And it was a big cockroach, and I was just stunned. And it was like my first time really crazy to say, seeing a cockroach. And I screamed for Craig, and I'd like kind of walked like out of the room, and I'm like, Craig.
So
And
it's
I'm like, come in here and
pretty
look at this.
privileged life you led.
Terrible.
Considering you haven't seen a cockroach
No.
until you were in your late
100.
40s.
Yeah.
I mean, so
Pretty much.
So that's pretty good life Annie's lived, but as we know, there's a lot more cockroaches down south. However, they're still up here in New York. We just have never had to have dealt with, or we've never dealt with them in our house.
I was just worried about
So-
like all night long, like one getting into my bag. Like that freaked me out. And so like all night, I didn't sleep at all in that hotel room that night before getting our van, because I took all my stuff, threw it up on the dressers and on the TV, and I just stayed awake with all the lights on that night. You were sleeping, like it didn't even affect you.
Yeah,
Me,
it's
I was sitting
just
there
a
like I was on high alert, like this cockroach is going to find its way into my bag and I'm going to bring it home. And so
And
Yeah.
it didn't. It
No.
didn't do any of that.
Well, no, because
It laid eggs in your bag.
Oh,
but
no, it didn't. If it did, because I brought everything home and I kept our luggage outside for like 3 days before I even brought it into the house, and I cleaned everything because I was that paranoid about what was going on.
Yeah.
You remember that?
Oh, I remember it.
Okay.
So then we went and picked up the van at the wrong Mercedes dealer, as
Yes,
it
there's
turns
two
out.
Mercedes dealers.
So,
in
and that's when
Birmingham.
it all kind of kicked in. So, as it turns out, there's 2 Mercedes dealers in Birmingham, Alabama, and
you
one of them is like the nice Mercedes dealer, and then the other one is just like a van dealer. And I think it's the old Mercedes dealer that they have this at. So we put it in our GPS and went to the wrong one. And we pulled up, and I was like a little bit like shocked that there was no like vans
on
at
the-
all on the
yeah.
lot. So I was getting a little nervous. And then I went up to like the main counter, and I go, I'm here to meet Mike Smith. And
Yeah.
the girl goes,
Who?
And I was like, oh no, did I just wire a lot of money to
Mike Smith.
Mike Smith? And
Pretty
there's no
much.
van. So after talking to her for a little bit longer, she said, I think you're at the wrong dealer. You're supposed to be at this other dealer. And I was like, and then I called Mike, and Mike said, yeah, you're definitely at the wrong dealer. And it was like 20 minutes away.
Yeah.
Which was crazy because our hotel was like within walking
you chose
distance.
that
know.
hotel based on the proximity to
Well,
the Mercedes dealer.
So just to save face on this, Annie wanted to go to this grocery store thing, and our
gosh.
appointment was later. So we went to that, which was halfway or half an
That's
hour.
so weird.
But it's true. Like, so we drove like a half an hour away to go to this grocery store thing. And then when we were at the grocery store thing, we just put in the Mercedes dealer, assuming there was only one. And that's where it went wrong. It wasn't like we drove a half an hour from the hotel to like, because that would have been pretty dumb. So,
True.
so we ended up driving 20 minutes back, and that was the first time we ever saw a storyteller. We saw one in the lot, or like 3 or 4 of them.
Yeah.
And
quite a few.
that was super exciting. And then we went into the showroom, and they had our storyteller in like a enclosed garage in the back, which was really nice.
Yeah.
And that's when they gave us the whole like kind of rundown of everything and showed us how like everything worked. And we had a little experience because we're ex-camping people, so we understood kind of gray tanks and stuff like that. Shore power, water, all of that stuff. We had a pretty good understanding. Plus, we had to wait a year for our van, so it was, well, I don't know if it was quite a year, it was like 9-10 months, but
Felt like a year.
it felt like more than a year. But so we had done a lot of like research and stuff, so we kind of knew the van. I wouldn't say better than the people selling it, but we knew it pretty good.
Yeah.
So, plus at that time there was a lot of people like with checklists and stuff of like what to check. I'd love to say I did use any of that. I didn't, but I kind of knew the basics of things that we probably should check.
Yeah.
I don't think we checked much, to be honest.
No, I think
So-
we were just so overwhelmed, and so
Yeah.
in the moment when we were like standing in our van, we're just like, oh my god.
Yeah, so we ended up getting the van. They were very nice. They gave us a couple freebies. I don't know if they do that for everybody. I think it was just my good looks. They
It
probably,
was definitely your charm.
wasn't it?
Yeah, it was.
They're like,
it
hey,
was your charm.
just take one of these other Mercedes G-Wagons with you if you want or something. And I was like, all right, thank you.
And I was standing there like trying to get a coffee. Like they
Yeah,
had a really
oh,
cool
they
coffee
did have,
machine
like-
in there, and I was like, can I get one of these coffees? And
The
Court's going
Mercedes
over
have
to the
those like
G-Wagon.
majorly nice coffee
Yeah,
makers. Yeah.
they do have a majorly nice coffee maker. in there.
So we ended up hitting the road. We had to return the rental, and Annie took the rental, and I took the van. And I will pre-warn anybody who goes and gets a storyteller or any Sprinter van that has the lane assist and all that stuff on it. If you are not familiar with that system, just make sure you do a little driving around and don't get right on the expressway, because it's super crazy especially if you're not the kind of person that uses your signals when there's nobody around
No.
you. So what I was doing is I was switching lanes and I wasn't hitting the signal, and it was doing that beep 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 beep. So like I thought I was about to hit somebody, but there was no one there, And when you're in like a foreign city, or not a foreign city, well, yeah, foreign city.
You're just in a big city that you're unused to, and you're listening to, a brand new GPS, and you have things telling you where to go, and you're listening to all these new noises. I will just speak from experience. Craig was all over that freeway. He was nuts.
Crazy.
He was going, like, changing lanes and jumping here, and I thought he was going to exit. So he'd get in an exit lane, and he didn't exit. So he was like coming over, and I was like following him with no GPS, and I was jumping behind him. I'm like, I'm surprised. I'm sorry, Mom, but I felt like I was going to get like run over by a tractor trailer that day because it was just insane trying to follow you on those roads.
Well, we found out in more detail at that time. I didn't know, but like twofold. Number one, Birmingham is a fast developing city, so the roads have been changed a little bit from the GPS module in the Mercedes, and so that was one problem. And we found this out because we ended up on within the first half an hour, because this was after we switched, or Annie dropped the rental car off, and she was riding with me. We're leaving, and we end up on a one-way street going the wrong way, based on following this GPS. Yeah. So we abandoned the Mercedes
that first day.
Yeah, within the first half an hour.
Half an hour getting our van. I'm like, oh my God.
Yeah, so we learned that GPS is garbage on the Mercedes. I'm sure you can do updates and stuff. I think we tried to, but the reality is we switched right over to Apple CarPlay and with our
we
Apple
had to, because it was just a familiar system. And at that point, we were just driving around, holding on by the skin of our teeth, trying to figure out our way. So it was just like, Apple, we know this, it's safe, let it rip.
And even now, we still don't use the Mercedes navigation. It's clunky, it's junky, it's garbage. We actually got a Garmin overland that we use for our GPS mainly. And then we used to use Annie's phone, but with her taking photos and music and everything else, it was clunky, and once again really a pain half of the time. So we found with the Garmin, it opens up our ability to use our phone for other things, which I think is important, especially when we're trying to make content. So that's how we kind of navigate now. We use Garmin Overland, and music and everything is handled through
Apple.
So we pick up the van. We went over to Storyteller.
Oh, we did go to the Storyteller right away.
The old place, the old Intergalactic, their first place they were at before they expanded. So we went over there. We didn't go over there to creep on them or anything. We went over there to actually, because I figured, because there I was in town and I knew I wanted an extra tire wheel, that I would just go over there and get the tire wheel if they had it. So went over there and talked to a guy named Ryan, I think his name was. And everybody was super nice over there and super accommodating. They were crazy busy, so I appreciated them being
even
that
talking
way.
To us.
They gave us a really quick tour of the place, which we didn't expect any tour. No. So that was nice of them. And then they sold us a couple T-shirts as well, and a hat. I wanted, they didn't have to do that either, but I just said, hey, I'll save you some shipping, and they were totally open to that, so they did. And then we got the tire and the wheel from them, so they didn't cut me a break on the shipping or anything, but I'm fine with that. I don't think it was. I think it was free shipping, but anyway, it didn't matter. I got the tire, and well, I wasn't expecting them to, but it is interesting that they saved all that money in shipping. Probably pretty nice thing I did for them.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm joking. So we got the tire wheel, and we got our photo there, our photo op. And then
we had to get that obligatory photo of the van and us in front of Storyteller.
And then we got on the road out of there. And where did we go? Do you remember? Oh, you know where it probably says? In your logbook.
I know where we went.
Where?
Bucky's.
We went to Bucky's. We did go to Bucky's in Leeds. Leeds, We had never been to a Bucky's. If you haven't been to a Bucky's, it's a fun overall experience. It's the craziest gas station ever.
Yeah.
Because they have hundreds of gas pumps and they're always all full.
Yeah.
And I can't imagine how much gas that place is going through in a minute.
No, places.
It seems to be, they don't really publish what their gas prices are on a big sign or anything, but every time I go there, it's really, really affordable.
Right.
And then I also like, nowadays, I definitely like that they have the def that you can fill up as well, which is, once again, cheaper. And then you don't have the plastic thing to deal with, and you don't have... the only problem is because it is so busy, it's hard to get... Because they only have the def at, like, a couple of the pumps. And there's always, like, some Prius filling up with, like...
Doubt it.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm like,
Your
why are you at the
stories.
diesel pump? You
Your
know, because there is, like,
stories.
gas there, too. But they're always,
Right.
like, blocking it all. And then they leave their car there and they go in the store. And it's
And
like...
they go in the store and they leave their car parked there. Guys,
Yeah.
this is
Yeah, I'm talking
quintessential-
from experience.
quintessential Greg
Yeah, it's true. So
complaining
then we
about Prius.
filled the tank up. We went over there and got some
You got
meat
some
from the
nuts?
meat wall. The Bucky nuggets.
Bucky nuggets.
Oh, and then I got those nuts. Yeah, we never got those again though.
No.
Like the ones that are like the cinnamon.
Yeah,
Like,
I think it was just that day we got that. And then the wall of beef jerky is
Yeah.
amazing. Big fan of
we
that.
got some other amazing stories about Bucky's as well, like on our trip down to Florida and stuff that
Yeah,
we're
Buc-ee's
looking
in
forward to
Florida.
sharing. Those are going to be fun stories. So you have to listen into the future.
So yeah, so we went to Bucky's, and then we honestly had to shoot right back to New York.
Right.
I think Bucky's was probably our big place to go to on the way back, but we had to shoot right back to New York because of it was
Kids just went to school?
kids.
Or
it
they
was,
just got out of school? Or they just
no,
went to
they
school?
were the first day of school, and we did not want to
All
miss
right.
our children's first day of school, which was going to happen probably like 2 days. Like we were like tight. Our timeline was super tight. So that was it. And then basically got back to New York and had a van in our driveway.
Yeah, but wasn't long. So we were home for about a week and a half, 2 weeks.
Right.
And we had already purchased tickets. So we were it was kind of risky because we didn't know if we were going to have the van or not. But
Yeah.
we did get the van in time to go to our first van meetup, which was the Chattanooga
Van Expo.
Van Expo. And that was was it the first year it was there? Maybe the second year.
I don't know.
But it might have been the first year, might have been the second year.
Okay.
And that's where we met some really close storyteller friends that we've stayed in touch with
Oh, yeah.
even like till today. And that's where we realized it wasn't just a brand or it wasn't just a van. You know, these you share a commonness with these people, and you know,
Oh, yeah.
and not just storyteller people, but any van people. So
Right.
it was a lot of fun. You know, I think it was just all so new to us at that time that I think, you know, we probably would enjoy it even more if we went now. But
yeah.
at that time, it was really
I think
cool.
it was fun though because we were so new, and I think the whole thing, just having that, you don't see a lot of these vans in the Northeast.
No.
To be honest, you don't see any of these vans in New York State at all. Our window of just van and camping is so short in New York because our winters are so long. So us bringing the van back to New York, and even I posted something on the Facebook page. And someone contacted me right away from Buffalo, New York, said, "Hey, I've been, looking at these vans online like we had done. Do you mind if I drive from, Buffalo to Rochester and bring my family and we can check out your van?" And I was just like, "Yeah, of course. Bring your family down, check out the van because have this opportunity that we did not have to see a van in person." And super cool people. And remember, they came from Buffalo
Yeah.
but they brought their children, and they were checking out our van, and they end up buying a van from Storyteller. I think they got a stealth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. And
Yeah.
so we got to see some of the mods. We got to see, how some people were doing some of the things. Once again, got to exchange some phone numbers. And I think that really helped. I got a few of the mods done on our van prior to that show, some basic stuff, and then it just continued after that with like
An addiction.
Yeah, it was a modaholic. But I mean,
Holes in the van.
yeah, we
all
put
the time.
holes all over the place. Yeah, we put a bunch of holes in the van.
We did.
So, but the reality is we got the van set up the way we like it, and some of the things were major improvements. Suspension is a big thing, especially when you're riding in a cargo van on the expressway and doing a lot of miles. That suspension can make a big difference, especially in big wind. And then the one thing I hate about this van is it's so underpowered. And I should rephrase that. It's not underpowered. The computer has it so underpowered that it's frustrating. And I know you don't deal with that, but
I don't.
I do the driving. So the reality is, when you're going up a hill, it's not great. This van is not great
It does
at all.
affect me because you're
'Cause
very vocal.
I get pretty upset. But
It does.
and it's for no reason. And and they do make modules that you can reprogram the computer, but I just can't pull the trigger on that. I've spent a lot of money on this van, and I can't spend the money they want for those those modules. They're just too expensive for what it is. For something that should just be that way already, anyways. So.
What if a Prius passes you though when you're going
Oh,
up the
Prius
hill?
does pass me when I'm going up the hill. It's the one that it took me 4 hours to get around. Finally, I get around him, and then there's a hill, and then he goes back around me again, and there's nothing I can do about it except for maybe smash him into a.
No, that's
something.
not true. Not true. But the Prius passing you is a true story.
Oh, it happens all the time. It's like you finally get around them, they finally let you by, and then once you get past them, there's that big hill coming right at you, and you just see it.
Every single time.
If there was an exit, I just want to get off the exit because I know
you can't handle it.
No, it's just painful. It's everything happens. It's like slow motion. Everything goes into slow motion.
Yeah.
So anything else from that van show that was fun? The one thing is I didn't bring my power cord because I thought we were going to be completely off grid, and we got there, and it was pretty hot, and you wanted to run your air conditioning, and we didn't have the what do they call it? The auto start that we have.
Oh yeah.
The high idle auto start. We didn't have that at that time.
No.
But we have it now.
Yeah.
It'd be crazy not to have that. That's another modification that you want to have. But we didn't bring a power cord because I was like, I'm not going to need this. Where am I going to be able to plug my van in? And we got there, and they legit had power for all the vans at the van show. So it was kind of stupid because everybody else had power. And at that time, we were so new, I was afraid to ask, or not afraid, but I felt like a jerk asking anybody else to borrow their power cord, which
rookie.
Today I would totally be like, hey, can I borrow your power cord for like a half an hour to recharge my batteries?
Yeah.
And they would totally let me. So so bring your power cord everywhere with you. I don't know why I didn't throw it in the van, but it was just crazy.
Silly.
Now it lives in our back Explorer box, so it's in a good place. So
Good tip.
yeah, you want to have that.
Yeah.
Is there anything else we learned at that? We had some awnings out. Everybody kind of circled their vans around. That was really cool.
That was a lot of fun. We had little chairs.
Yeah. The food at that event was okay.
I don't remember.
Yeah, because it was okay.
It was okay.
Storyteller was there. If Storyteller's there, you always want to go and talk to them and hang out at their booth and find out what's going on because they'll treat you like your
They always
family.
had breakfast.
They always had breakfast,
every morning. Every morning.
So you go over there and they would have a breakfast burrito or something.
Breakfast burritos, yeah.
Which I thought was really, really nice. They didn't.
Very
they
nice.
Don't have
They
to
do
that.
not obviously have to provide that, but they have breakfast burritos and they had water and chips throughout the day.
Yeah, and then we took a big family photo with.
We did.
Yeah,
We're
there was
in
a
big
huge,
family photo. Yep.
huge photo of like all the storytellers got together.
Yep.
And did that,
Yep.
and
Fun.
I'm trying to think of what else there was. We had that journal.
There's cockroaches.
There was cockroaches there. Yeah, I know. They were in the
Sorry.
bathroom. They did have access. Well, there was porta potties, but then there was also like if you knew somebody, there was like a ice skate rink or something over there, and you could the guy would let you in, and you could use like real bathrooms.
Yeah.
And
And they were
pretty,
clean.
that was pretty major.
Yeah, they were nice, clean bathrooms during
And
certain
then we
hours.
walked over to the Cabela's. Remember, there was a Cabela's right there.
Oh, yeah.
And then we went and got some chairs.
That's where we got chairs.
Did we got those chairs in here still? I don't know. We got these chairs. They're foolish chairs. They were, they're like those. I mean, some of my size shouldn't be sitting on them. They didn't break or anything, but they're a lot of. It's a bunch of sticks with like a piece of fabric. And remember them?
Yeah, I do.
And
It didn't bother me.
yeah, no.
We're just low to the ground.
Very low to the ground and very like, you know.
Like
They
what?
could have blew up at any time for me with my weight on there. So we ended up eventually. I think I'm happy with the chairs we got now. The what do they call them? The front runner.
Oh, yeah.
Front runner chairs. They're the best.
Mm-hmm.
They fold down. They fit like perfectly in your storyteller to start, or any Sprinter van.
Yeah.
When you look at them, you can't believe that there's a whole chair in there, and then they open up and set up in like a second versus those other ones like
What'd you do with those?
those other ones
Yeah,
they
did
might
they?
be up on the top still there. I don't
They could
we'll
with
never
some-
use them. I might have put them in the basement because I realized we'll never use them, or I might have them up there still in case we have guests.
Oh, the guests can sit in them.
Yeah, I'm not sitting in it.
Okay, I don't want you to either. Maybe I could put the kids in them.
Yeah, kids would be good.
The kids
for
would be great in those chairs.
And then we got barbecue, remember, at that place?
Yes, they
on the
do.
way back.
Yep,
It was okay.
it was all right.
And I think that's it.
That's it.
And then we shot back. Mm-hmm. And that was it.
Yeah, we were tight. Those first trips in this van, we were always so tight with time constraints.
Yeah.
We enjoyed and squeezed like every minute of our van, because we just had all these obligations at home. So not living in our van, just like taking advantage of every opportunity to get out on the road and enjoying every single moment out on the road made a big difference.
Yeah, and I think we learned a lot, like in those first few trips. I mean, they're shakedown trips, so it's like, and our shakedown trips were pretty big, like long trips. They weren't just like
We weren't just for us going an hour or 2 hours away from home. We were we were jumping
they
in the
were
van.
far distance, but they weren't long trips. So it's like, I feel like also we didn't get to really enjoy. I mean, we had a little bit of time, but it's like we were just going.
Oh my gosh.
And so I think having some time to slow down and think about the best way to make coffee, or the best, the best way to use a bathroom, or the best way to put your curtains up, or the best way, or how to use the heater, those kind of things you kind of start learning on these shakedown trips, and they come pretty quick. However, just know that you there is a learning curve on this lifestyle, and making sure that you kind of realize what is important and what's not, and what you need and what you don't. You'll end up getting a lot of crap that you will never use. For instance, those chairs. I don't know if they're even in here. So, and then you find some things that are really essential that you never thought. One thing that's an essential in van life is paper towels. You're going to be using a lot of them, and wet wipes. I think that's another thing that you use a lot of.
Right.
It's just
Clorox,
easier to
just
clean stuff.
This antibacterial wipes.
Both of them, right? I mean, and then face wipes and stuff like that. I mean, it's just because you're in a confined space and you need something that is easier and you can throw it away.
Clean around you.
Paper products are great, like paper plates, and just because you want to conserve your water, and if you're washing dishes, and you can use a lot of water in just doing that. So if you don't have to, and you can just throw the paper plate away, it's just a lot easier to kind of deal with all that stuff.
Do you wash a lot of dishes?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I have my coffee cup. You always try to wash it, and I just drink it.
Okay.
Out of there. What else?
No, I feel
What other tips did we learn on those first days?
I don't know. Just take your days and enjoy them. I mean, there's your tip is just have fun, be in the moment, and have fun. And if you find something and you like something, write it down.
You don't even write it down.
I actually do write things down.
Oh, okay. So when Annie gets her journal back, we'll be able to give you some information on where we went, when we were there. We never told
I think
them.
we did pretty well. I think we did pretty well.
We never told them what we named the van.
Oh, we did. What did we name the van?
Yeah. So, and I feel like there's more to the story because there was.
Well, then let's not talk about it. Let's wait until we have the journal.
No, I'm fine with telling them the name of the.
Oh, okay.
We named the van Birdie.
We did.
Which at that time we liked birds still.
Yes, we did.
And that's why I'm saying there's more to that story because there's the current situation that has been ongoing.
Right.
We have a barn that these birds
Battling
have.
these birds.
Well, they've just destroyed it. They're pigeons. They're dirty. It's
Let's not get too deep into it, but
it's
yes.
really bad. So
We might have to rename our van because birds have been taking basically feels like a hammer to our van.
But there was another thing that happened with a bird, and we were just like, we got it. This birds are like too much. Like they're just such dirty creatures. Like, and that we didn't realize like how dirty,
Destructive. How destructive.
and dirty.
Okay.
Oh. Yeah.
So we have to rename the van.
Yeah, we'll try to remember
We're
the
gonna-
other story. There's something else too that happened.
Yeah.
And then we hit that bird on the way down to wherever we went the other day. Bounced off the roof. It was terrible. That when we went down to Florida.
Yeah.
Yeah, those birds are just,
Birds are detrimental.
oh, the worst.
Does anyone have like a good bird story?
I don't.
We've been
And
like the
we
last.
used to like the birds, so it's
We
not
did.
like I don't. It's not that I don't like them as a thing, but when they're in my space, being dirty and smelly and trashy, and they're not.
Enough.
They're not clean animals.
Enough.
So that. Oh, I remember what happened. So the birds, we had the birds here, like just destroying our barn, and then they destroyed our historic
Oh yes.
property, like, and destroyed it. Like,
Yeah.
we had these birds, they just ripped the molding off of all the trim. I mean, in 1 year, we had to completely spend thousands of dollars repairing the damage they did to that building.
Mm-hmm.
So that's the reason I was like, I knew there was something else. They destroyed our beautiful Victorian home, these birds.
Mm-hmm.
So, but I think I've vacated them and it's getting close to winning in the barn. So by the end of the year, we might keep the
Total
name Birdie.
bird eviction.
Well, I'm just asking them to leave kindly.
Okay.
I'm just making it less accommodating
Yeah.
for them, is I guess what you could say. Because I
Yeah.
hear if they're going to keep on coming back unless you try to make it, they don't like it. So they don't like reflective stuff. They don't like, there's a lot of stuff they don't like.
If you have any more tips of how to keep birds out of your barn,
Especially pigeons.
pigeons, we're all ears.
Yeah, there's a lot of ways you can do it. None of them work really well, but if you do them all together, it's enough to kind of keep them away, I think. Mm-hmm. We'll find out if that's true, or if I'm just going to knock the barn down. And,
Oh my gosh.
Well, I can't have it as it is now
Okay.
with these birds. It's out of control. So I think that's a wrap on today.
Yeah.
I think we shared enough. We're going to talk more about some of the things that you basically deal with in van life in the future. So this was just kind of our pickup story, but we're going to share like actually the content or the stuff that you will deal with that you're not expecting in the future. And we'll share completely everything, or at least I will. You might not be.
I
as
will
open to
find
that.
my journal and bring my journal for the next reading of things. Whatever you're looking for in the journal will be
Yeah, I
here,
mean, if
present.
you get my opinion, you get a journal, you should leave it in the van
Mm.
if it's for the van.
Sometimes things get taken out of the van for cleaning.
I know. So every time I need something that was in the van, I go to get it, and then I say, Annie, where was this? Oh, I took that out.
I can see it take it out.
I'm like, well, the whole point of it being in the van was it was a van thing.
Well, it didn't feel that way to me.
I know. I know that. All right, so I hope you guys enjoyed our episode. I hope that you'll come back and watch more of them. We have an amazing YouTube channel that we're putting together. We're getting better every time, so you can see some of our actual content. We hope that you'll go and check that out. It's Van Life Mates. Once again, Van Life Mates. And we do have a website as well that we're kind of starting to put together, which will kind of direct all that together. And, you know, tell us what kind of content that you would like us to produce, or what kind of things you'd like more information on. I mean, we were looking for a lot of information when we started this journey, and a lot of people were just really great at sharing their stories, and we took a lot of their ideas, and, you know, we've really benefited from that. So we'd like to share on the community the same way.
Yeah.
So if there's something we could do to share, or something that you're like, hey, how do you deal with this? Or, you know, those kind of crazy things that everybody's kind of thinking in the back of their head but afraid to ask. Don't be afraid to ask. We're here to answer any question we can, but also show you some really cool stuff in the process. So
Yes.
I hope you enjoyed today's episode. Do you have anything else, Annie?
No. I feel good about it.
So don't forget to subscribe and like our channel, and make sure that you keep on coming back and enjoying our content. Have a great day.
Thank you.